The twin suns of Erebos 9 painted the sky in golden red. Children ran through the glowing fields and the colony hummed with quiet peace. It was a normal morning. Soft wind, laughter, and the sound of life far from Earth. But then, the wind stopped. At first no one noticed. The birds were gone, the air felt heavy. A farmer looked up and saw something strange. The sunlight dimming like a shadow moving across the sky. He blinked, and the next second the shadow grew larger. In orbit above the colony, scanners screamed warnings. Unknown objects, hundreds of them, entering the atmosphere. The communication officer tried to reach Earth, but only static came through. Signal jammed, she whispered. It's not natural. Then the first explosion hit. A blinding light tore across the city. Buildings vanished, ships caught fire in the sky. The peaceful colony turned into chaos within seconds. Mothers ran with children, alarms screamed through the air, and the blue sky turned black. From the burning horizon, the last transmission escaped, filled with fear and static. This is Erebos 9. They are here. Please, anyone. Silence followed. Hours later, deep in Earth's command center, that message replayed over and over. Officers watched the flickering hologram in disbelief. The planet was gone, completely erased. The commander stood still, his eyes cold. Who did this? He asked quietly. No one answered. He looked at the stars and whispered, Then we make them pay. And for the first time in centuries, Earth's war alarms began to ring again. The storm had begun. The news of Erebos 9's fall spread across every human world. Billions watched the footage, flames, screams, and silence. For the first time in 100 years, the stars felt unsafe. Inside Earth Command headquarters, the council gathered. Generals, scientists, and leaders from every colony sat around a dark circular table. The air was heavy. Nobody spoke for a long moment. Finally, Admiral Rhea broke the silence. We lost 30 million people in one night, she said coldly. That was not an invasion. That was extermination. The room remained still until Commander Holt stood up. His voice was calm, but his eyes burned. We don't beg for peace anymore, he said. We answer. A massive hologram appeared in the center, the human defense fleet stretching across the stars. Shipyards from Mars to Titan began awakening. Engines roared, factories lit up, and workers cheered. Humanity was no longer building ships for defense, but for vengeance. 500,000 warships, Holt announced. Every ship, every soldier, every world united under one cause. Erebos must be avenged. Outside the station, thousands of massive battleships were already lifting off. Their metal hulls glowed under the light of the rising Earth. Families gathered on rooftops, watching their sons and daughters leave for war. In the silence, a small child whispered, Will they come back? Her mother looked at the sky, eyes filled with both fear and pride. They're not going to come back, she said softly. They're going to make sure this never happens again. And as the fleet formed a burning line across the blackness of space, one message spread across every human world. For Erebos, the human armada stretched across the stars, 500,000 warships moving as one. The engines glowed blue against the black void, leaving trails of light behind. Space had never seen such power before. Inside the command ship Eden's Wrath, Admiral Rhea stood by the window, staring into the endless dark. They think they can hide, she said quietly. They'll learn what humans become when we lose everything. Every ship carried pain. Soldiers whispered the names of lost families. Engineers worked in silence, their eyes red from sleepless nights. Even the AI voices spoke softer now, as if mourning. Days turned into weeks. The fleet crossed empty star systems, scanning for signs of the enemy. But the deeper they went, the stranger things became. Unknown signals flickered across the radar, short, coded pulses in a language no one could understand. Then one night, a patrol ship vanished. No explosion. No distress call. Just gone. The next day, 2 more ships disappeared, and the signals grew louder. Something's following us, the radar officer said. Rhea ordered the fleet into formation, weapons ready. The void around them felt alive, as if watching. The silence became unbearable. Suddenly, the stars ahead began to shift, tiny glimmers moving against space itself. Then, shapes appeared, metallic, enormous. Hundreds of alien ships uncloaked from darkness, surrounding the human fleet like predators. The first officer looked at Rhea, fear in his eyes. Admiral, They've been waiting for us, Rhea didn't blink. Her hand reached for the command panel. Then let's not keep them waiting, and with a single word, fire. The black void lit up with the first battle of a war that would shake galaxies. The darkness of space exploded into fire. Thousands of alien ships opened fire first, blue plasma beams slicing through the void, tearing human cruisers apart. Metal burned, alarms screamed, and space became a graveyard of light. Admiral Rhea stood firm on the command deck. Her voice cut through the chaos. All ships return fire. No retreat.
For Erebos,
the human fleet answered like thunder. Millions of missiles and railgun blasts streaked through the black. Entire enemy formations vanished in seconds. The aliens, fast and strange, tried to surround them, but humanity had learned to fight in the dark. Frigates danced between explosions. Battleships formed defensive lines, and carrier drones swarmed like angry wasps. Every human ship moved with purpose, with rage, with memory. They were not soldiers anymore. They were vengeance given form. On the bridge of Eden's Wrath, the crew watched as enemy signals began to fade. "They're falling back," shouted the officer, but Rhea knew better. The alien fleet split apart, and then from the center of their formation a massive ship emerged. Its hull shimmered with shifting symbols, its size dwarfing anything human had ever seen. The alien mothership. It unleashed a beam so powerful it ripped through hundreds of ships in one strike. The shockwave shook every deck. Rhea steadied herself, blood on her forehead. "Focus all fire on that monster." Every remaining ship aimed their cannons. The sky itself seemed to crack as they fired together. The alien mothership's shield broke. Then its heart exploded in a burst of white fire. Silence returned. Only wreckage floated. Rhea looked out the window, voice trembling. One battle won. One galaxy to go. The wreckage of the battle drifted across the stars. The silence after victory felt heavy, not peaceful. Humanity had won, but the aliens were not defeated yet. Admiral Rhea stood before the tactical map, watching hundreds of blinking red dots deep inside alien territory. "That," she said quietly, pointing to the center, "is where it began. Their homeworld." The command room fell silent. The planet was hidden within a dying star system, surrounded by storms of radiation and metal debris. No ship had ever returned from that place, but humanity was done running. A small strike team volunteered to go in first: soldiers, engineers, and one scientist. Their mission: enter the alien capital, locate the central control core, and plant the Nova device, a weapon powerful enough to burn an entire world. The journey took days through endless storms. The alien homeworld was a nightmare. Black towers, glowing red skies, rivers of molten light. The air itself felt alive, whispering strange sounds. As the team moved through the ruins, alien patrols swarmed around them. Blaster fire echoed through dark halls. One by one, the soldiers fell, but they never stopped. Finally, they reached the control chamber, a massive sphere of pulsing energy. The scientist, covered in dust and blood, armed the Nova device. Its lights blinked faster and faster. "Timer's set for 5 minutes," he said, voice shaking. "Then go," their leader replied. "I'll stay." The others froze. He smiled faintly. "Someone has to make sure it detonates." The door closed behind them as he placed his hand on the trigger. Through the broken dome, he saw the alien sky one last time. "For Erebos," he whispered. And then, light swallowed everything. The explosion could be seen from light years away. A sun was born inside the alien homeworld, swallowing cities, fleets, and the dark towers that had once stood as symbols of their power. The shockwave rolled through space, scattering debris and silence. Far from the blast, the human fleet watched in awe. Sensors burned out, trying to measure the destruction. For a moment, no one spoke. Then a whisper came over the comm, like a voice trembling with emotion. "It's done. The world of our enemy is gone." Admiral Rhea closed her eyes. The light from the explosion reflected across her face. She thought of the soldier who stayed behind, of every life lost since Erebos 9. "Transmit this to every human colony," she said softly. "Tell them, it's over." The message spread across the galaxy. On distant worlds, families wept. Not out of joy, but relief. The war that began with fire had ended in silence. Half the human fleet was gone, yet their names would live forever. Weeks later, the survivors returned home. Earth's skies filled with broken ships carrying heroes and memories. Statues were built, songs were written, and the name Erebos became sacred. In her final report, Admiral Rhea wrote, "We fought monsters and became one. We lost much, but we gained something greater, unity. Humanity has learned that peace is not given. It is protected." The camera pans out, Earth glowing against the stars, peaceful once more. A quiet voice ends the tale. From the ashes of Erebos rose a stronger humanity, scarred, proud, and ready for whatever comes next. The screen fades to black. Like, share, and subscribe. Humanity's story will continue.